That conversation that you've just heard was myself and Steve Barker, the coach of Stellenbosch, because it was unbelievable to me after having watched Junior Mendieta just a handful of games that the big teams in Johannesburg had not come calling for him. I can tell you now that one of the stories we're going to be talking about today is the fact that Joburg teams, in inverted commas, the so-called big teams, want Mendieta. Junior Mendieta, the Stellenbosch number 10, is a wanted man. Welcome to it. Thank you so much for joining us at Sports Not Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. This is the Mighty Metro FM. And we are saying thank you for a great week to Thibo Chach and his entire crew. Thank you for being a part of this great lineup. They do it again on Monday between 3 and 6. Exactly 11 after the hour 6. I've got my whole crew with me. Pro Pilan is here. Nadim Lukele, the man everybody hates to love or loves to hate. I'm not sure. He's yes. Puam Kwanza with the experience. The only one of us who's kicked a ball. But guess what? We still question him even. And Lindelo Moyo, Opta Jabu member, he's with us as well. Because today we go back to our GOAT, greatest of all time. In the PSL era, we covered goalkeeper. We agreed that it's got to be Slim Cut Onyango and Andre Arendse. We covered left backs. We said Tsepo Masilela and Siakati, and one of those two is the greatest of all time. We covered right back, and you guys, alongside with the guy sitting in studio, said Sizwe Mutaung. Undoubtedly, today, central defenders. Who is the best of all time? Let's go around call. Make sure everybody is present. Let me start go right back because he doesn't fit in our conversation of central defenders today. So Mankala go right back. Mkwanza?
Ngiyabonga man. Ezimnandi Zibuzola. Thanks again for the opportunity. I'm a man. Sizo Aina Fanda.
All right, former Bafana, former Kaizer Chiefs player, as well as the man that you just heard now in Puam Kwanza. Let's go to Lindelo Moyo. Lindelo Moyo is a member of the Opta Jabu. I know they've taken a break from Twitter, but gee, was the growth that we've seen with that account, Lindelo. I can't wait for the money that account will generate. One day when you sell that platform, you're going to be a billionaire. Welcome to the show.
Andile, thank you. Always a pleasure being with you. Greetings to everyone in the studio and the listeners as well.
And I love that you are now synonymous with us here at home. People say, hey, Andile, they tweet, they say on Metro FM, Opta Jabu, and we appreciate that, and we see in your growth. The season might be over, but people must follow the account because the work that you guys put in there is amazing. Thank you so much, Lindelo. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
And of course, all the way in Durban, because we cover the whole country, Lindelo's out in Cape Town, in Durban, SABC sport researcher at Pro Pilane. Pro.
Good evening, good Andile. Good evening to the King of Domingo. Good evening to the plumber, Unadim, and good evening to all the listeners of the Sundowns.
And lastly, Nadim Lukele is here, former SABC researcher and statistician, and one man that can look up a stat that you didn't even know exists. If you can ask him, Oguti, how many blades of grass were on the field the day Chiefs played Pirates in 1954? Oguti, how many blades of grass were there? Nadim?
Good evening, Andile. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Guys, I'm excited because we did goalkeeper, and we still don't know who the greatest goalkeeper in the PSL era is. It was a tight one between Onyango, Arendse, and the Slim Cut, right?
Yeah.
And then on the outside, you had Brian Baloyi as well as Itumeleng Khune. Then we did left back. It was a tie between two people, Siakati and Tsepo Masilela.
Yeah.
Then we went right back, the greatest right back of all time. I think we all agreed, yes, there were people mentioned, but the larger voice was Sizwe Mutaung. Right?
Yeah.
Today, we say central pairing.
Yeah.
Who is the greatest central pairing? This is a GOAT conversation. Don't tell me, no, this guy was good. No. Who is the greatest? When you pit them all against each other in the PSL era, who is the greatest of all time? I want to hear from you. 060-552-7303. 6:45 is your turn. 6:45 is your time. We're not going to take that time over. That's all over to you to send us your WhatsApps and call us on 086-000-2160. On Facebook, we see you. On Twitter, we see you. Thank you so much to all of those that are watching this live. But let's begin first, perhaps, with the stories. We're going to play it again. This is a conversation I had with Steve Barker about Junior Mendieta. Opta will give us the stats on Junior Mendieta as well. But firstly, let's begin with what Steve Barker said to me. This is earlier this year, or late last year to me. When was it? Earlier this year when I spoke to Steve Barker. And I asked him because I could see it was coming. People were watching Junior Mendieta, the number 10 South American that plays for Stellenbosch. have the big teams come calling? Well, now we know they have. Have a listen to this. Are you surprised that you still have Junior Mendieta? You still kept him, and the allure of the so-called bigger teams in Johannesburg have not come shocking for him?
Yeah, I do think I am a bit surprised, yes. There has obviously always been a lot of rumours around. He's a quality player. He's shown over the last 2-3 years, he's up there in terms of creativity, assists, and, he scores goals as well. And, he's got a huge passion for the game and love for football, as most other South Americans do. But he's also happy at Stellenbosch. He's proud to be representing us. But like all footballers, if opportunities do arise and that, I'm sure he would be, considerate of that. But for now, he's our player, and he needs to keep performing for us. He's one of our sort of key players in this last sort of 13 matches of the league that we need him to keep stepping up. Yeah.
So, Coach, all right, we're going to stop it there. That was the conversation there. Let me start perhaps with Opta Jabu. Opta, this player, if he's wanted by Sundowns, if we're hearing that Chiefs might even have an interest in him, tell me about his stats.
Indeed, Andile. Mendieta is one of those players who are very creative and has been providing a good number of assists this season. The league is the leader, joint leader with Monapule Saleng on 8. So that is what he is about. So
8 assists. He's the top assist player alongside with Monapule Saleng in the league.
In the league, yes.
And then how many goals was he involved in?
And so altogether, if we count the goals that he's been involved in, it comes to 19. 10 goals and 9 assists, which could easily have been more because he actually missed 3 penalties, more than any other player in the league.
Wow. So let's go into it, gents. No. Here it is, Junior Mendieta. Sundowns, of course, we heard about what's happened there and the fallout with Hashim Domingo, who then leaves Sundowns, and this being seen as a replacement. Firstly, what do you think of the Sundowns debacle with Hashim Domingo and then Junior Mendieta? Is he a worthy replacement? Do you see him at Sundowns? We're hearing there's Chiefs rumours as well.
But Andy, I'm not sure the reasons behind Sundowns not renewing Hashim Domingo's contract, because in my opinion, I thought that Hashim Domingo was a very good squad player. He could fit in a lot of positions for Sundowns. He could play as a false 9, he could play as an 8, he could play as an inside winger. So he filled many positions. And I was so disappointed when I heard that Sundowns were willing to let go of such a player. And when I saw that they were chasing Mendieta, I was a little bit disappointed, because you can't be chasing a 33-year-old and letting go a younger player like Hashim Domingo, a player that fits the profile of how Rulani Mokwena wants to play the game. And Mendieta, I'm not sure whether he can give Sundowns what they are looking for at his age, and looking at also his contribution. He's not a player that can cover all the whole field the way Rulani Mokwena wants players to chase and close down spaces. Yes, he's a quality player in the final third, but I'm not sure that he can give Sundowns the whole length of the field. So for me, I just wish that Sundowns can pass this opportunity to sign him and let other kids have him. I mean, if Chiefs is serious about rebuilding their club, I think they should go for it. They should get the player. For Sundowns, take that money that they want to spend on Mendieta, give it to Cape Town City and get Kanyisa Mayo. If not, then look for a younger player that you can invest in and give them 5 years and hope that the player will bring something bigger in the next 2 or 3 years. But for me, I wish Sundowns can pass the opportunity and let Chiefs have the player.
Let's do a comparison here. Opta Jabu, you've got the stats on Hashim Domingo. So you said Junior Mendieta, 19 goal involvements. That includes, of course, that excludes the 3 penalties he missed. So he could have been on 21 easily. Yeah. What about Hashim Domingo's contribution?
So Hashim Domingo, despite playing very few minutes this season, he had 6 goal involvements across all competitions. That's 4 goals and 2 assists, which is actually his most in a season ever since he joined Sundowns.
With that knowledge, Mkonza?
Andile, I love Domingo, but the issue then becomes stats. Involvement as an attacking midfielder is very less for a team like Sundowns. as a final.
But he doesn't play enough games.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The message is it's clear. And Makhanjiswa player they'll start with about Domingo because they were used sparingly. He didn't play much of the games, and he's competing Nozwane, who's number one. Mayema Mkulise, Alain Mbule in that role. And you saw in the last few games of the Sundowns this season, he was not even used. Yes, I know there was a times where he was injured, but again, if you're competing with these players, already now the message is very clear. We should make transfer. I'm the first one on the transfer.
So then let me ask you this then, while we're still on this topic. Does Mendieta play with the players that you've just mentioned? You've mentioned Alienda, you've mentioned Zwane, you've mentioned all these big players out at Sundowns. Does Mendieta then play in that team? If Domingo couldn't crack it.
Stats Mendieta, if you look at my stats from the Stellenbosch, very great stats. And I mean, 8 assists is leading the PSL midfielders in stats. But any coach would want a midfielder, an attacking midfielder, that at least a season will score 8 to 10 goals.
Does he play in that Sundowns team?
Yeah, he's got the arrogance and the specialized ability that you need at Sundowns. Not any midfielder can play for Sundowns within that Shushan and piano culture. So Mendieta brings that arrogance as South American arrogance. And I think he can fit it Sundowns.
Nadim?
Yeah, he's 29 years actually. Just to correct people, I know said he's 33 years. He's still good enough to play for Sundowns. Most players actually that peak at that age. I honestly feel that if Sundowns fight, they'll just get better and win again the league next season for the 7th consecutive time if they signed him. Hashim Domingo, I understand his story because he was at Vets. He came with the way he was signed at Vets, obviously, he was signed to be a key player, not to be someone who's going to be playing some few matches. Of course, the technical director at Sundowns, he feel that he cannot have such a player who will just sit on the bench or play as a by the way. You say that you are involved more or you are not. You're out of the team. So that's the reason. I understand Lance Davids felt maybe he should have been there, but he's not a starter at Mamelodi Sundowns. He has not played enough games to warrant him continuing with Sundowns. This is actually that's why he's leaving. I feel Mendieta will be a suitable replacement for him.
Let's move on. You can make of what you will of that conversation there. Hashim Domingo for Mendieta. But you guys are mentioning him at Sundowns. What about the Chiefs? Do you think he'd fit in the Chiefs? Yeah.
But the Chiefs, you don't know how they're signing because they say they're going to renew Kamapilet, who's not been playing this season. You don't know how they sign players. You don't know how they renew players' contract because you hear that Kune's contract is going to be renewed. I mean, he's not even a number 1 goalkeeper, but he's the most experienced goalkeeper. Imagine having the highest paid player who's a goalkeeper who's not your number 1. So you don't know what's happening at Chiefs. Yes, he can fit the Chiefs to answer your question. He can fit at Orlando Pirates. In any of the top 3 teams, he's that good. I mean, the stats speaks for themselves. He's equal to Saleng. He's actually, for me, I think he creates more chances than Saleng. That's why I like him so much.
Do you agree, Former Kosi?
Yes, he can. He can. Andile, in a sense that if we pay Chiefs holistically from the midfield point of view, Abana creative midfielder. They've been playing without a playmaker, and you can't play without a playmaker because you link, you manipulate some lines. I think it will fit very, very well. Obviously, as coaches are, because sometimes players make those moves to the other teams without having a conversation. Coach Guti, how do you want me, and how do you want me to play the role that you want me to play? And these are the things that you need to consider before you're making a move. Because coach management,
so from 30 minutes after the R6, which is about in 4 minutes' time, we begin the conversation on the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Which two players, central pairing, are the best of all time in the PSL era? 6:45, we start taking your calls on everything we've spoken about. Speaking of which, Jabulo Ngobo, we're reading he's set to leave Chiefs.
So it means Atazwane didn't forgive him. Remember that time when he was substituted?
I mean, it's not an Arthur thing. I say this to you all the time. It can't be a one-person thing.
He's the coach. He's the one who selected him. Unless you are telling me that Atazwane is not the one who doesn't select him.
No, I don't mean. I mean, he can't. I don't think Atazwane decides which players go and which players come.
Obviously, management.
Usually,
management
Junior,
they look at the players who are not playing. He's not been playing. So before he was a starter, remember, he was a regular. So they feel that if you are not gonna be playing, you're not part of the coach's plan. Obviously, they will release you. So he has to play and prove himself because he's a quality.
How do you go from being the best player in South Africa in your position to not playing, to being let go? You were, in the national team even.
Sometimes the different setup, the environment. Kuswalos, he was doing so well, football of the season. Gets to Chiefs is used sparingly, and it speaks to obviously Mhlambe adaptation quotient was not as good as you'd expect it to be. You could see even when he plays good, they even changed the role of him to play more safer role playing as a holding midfielder. No, Ncube Swallows was doing so well, doing so similar to our old John Mabizela, how he played. But then Mabashinji role, that means there's no trust because centre backs.
No, I don't even think it's a matter of trust. It's that incident where there was Stuart Baxter's son, the former goalkeeper coach at Kaizer Chiefs. That's where it started. It has nothing to do with playing. Same thing. He's a quality defender, right?
He is.
Just like I told you last week, that Mato's leaving Kaizer Chiefs has nothing to do with efforts. We know he's a top central defender. That's why he's going to get a team this season.
But Monga perform, how can you say it's not about?
We cannot say if a coach doesn't like you,
sentiments won't help.
If the coach doesn't select you for whatever reason, we're not gonna say we are no longer a quality player, but because we know that you're a quality player. It's just like someone can come and say now, Ncube, we know him, we've seen him at Swallows. Even at Kaizer Chiefs when he was starting was very good, and because of that incident where Atta decided that he's not gonna play him anymore, then we say he's no longer a quality. He's still a quality player.
But you're as good as your last game. There's no way once Chilaguti 20 years ago was playing so well. Then this year you're not performing. Then Usfunas use the reference 20 years ago.
So if a coach doesn't like you, just like Gavin Hunt didn't play you at SuperSport, you were no longer a good player when you leave SuperSport United because you came as a starter at Kaizer Chiefs, you were playing for Bafana. You joined SuperSport, Gavin Hunt, Prefect Bongan Kumar and Mook and Gold. So you're no longer a player, you're no longer a quality player.
According to him, that's why I was not using
I'm asking you.
No, I mean, I know myself. I'm a good player.
You were still a player even though you went.
Yes, but he was not using.
But Ncube is no longer a quality player now. Ncube is no longer a quality player now.
Give us your opinions and your thoughts. Let's go into them. But let me quickly go to Pro. Morgan Mamila going back to Chippa United. If there's one thing about Morgan, when he was here, you heard him. He said, guys, and you could hear in a conversation we're having that he didn't want to burn the bridges with Chippa United, regardless of how he was let go by Chippa. But he went on to say 4 games in a row. Who else has done it? And, there was a Opta prepared stats for me. We said, no, Rulani has done it. And then he went and did it again at Swallows. He's going back to Chippa United. What do you think of that?
So are you saying Musanya Tama was not his coach as Swallows?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he was involved. He was part of the technical team that did 4 again. Okay. So he was part of that team. Whether we like it or not, he got there and there was change.
But it's funny, Andile, I'm a player. Let me tell you the thinking as a dressing room. When a team, someone new comes, I can tell you change the mindset of the players. Regardless of you are 4 or 5 games in a row, mindset of my player changes. And that is why Morgan was a owner the 4 games that we need, it's because Minanga figure up. But there's a lot of dynamics and people have got away with made skin.
Pro?
But Andile, what I can say, first let me touch on Legan Jabulo Ncube. The nicest thing about Jabulo Ncube being released by Chiefs or being placed on transfer list by Chiefs is that if he was being placed by Sundowns, people were going to say that Sundowns is killing careers. But because now it's coming from Chiefs and the blame now goes to Atazwane and people are saying that Atazwane didn't like him. Let's accept that sometimes it works out for a player and sometimes it doesn't work out. I think with the case of Jabulo, quality footballer, quality defender, it didn't work out. Now, moving on to Umok and Mamila, I strongly believe that whatever Coach Morgan is doing behind the scenes that most of us can't see, I think that the club bosses, they see something different. What he did at Chippa United and what he did at Swallows, I think it's a remarkable work. It's one of those things that Coach Mandla and Coach Steve Kompela, they call it the invisible success. I think it's just an invisible success, and I hope that he stays long at Chippa United.
And
very quickly.
Pro Pilane, the reason Momila Bamfila Ganga, Bamka, guy chance to Bangene, Bashokoloz, Bafakama, ama input wabo. That is why now he has a pedigree.
So you're saying, hold on.
Yeah,
you're saying that the bosses at Swallows, the bosses at Chippa, he's easily influenced.
I wonder the technical director, is he qualified for being a technical director? Come on,
oh yeah, no, definitely makes
but
sense.
he allows, there is kushuti abavumela ukuthi man fake input yakho la mina ngicabanga ukuthi uandile angayiqali or something like that. But I mean, these are the things that teenage culture like that faneke sishintshe, but I still believe that he's done a tremendous job kuSwallows, but I still believe ukuthi because uvulile shop ukuthi bafethu fakani input yenu la.
Very lastly, it's the last one here. Let's go to Jose. I need to say this right because Begala coach and usitshela ukuthi litho kanjani igama lakhe is Jose Ribeiro. There we go. Jose Ribeiro. The coach of London Pirates was here. This is what he had to say about what his philosophy is when it comes to football.
I have my own vision of the team that I would like to see if I'm a football fan. I think we have a responsibility to entertain the people, and the people is going to the stadium to see the team or their own team winning. First of all, I think is the most important thing, and then playing as much as possible in the half of the opponent as quick as possible. There, creating chances and scoring goals. That's what we all, not all, but most of us are chasing. I like to see the ball going fast in the direction to the goal. It doesn't mean direct, it means fast.
That's his philosophy. That's what he says. But before we speak about him, Opta, what are the stats on Ribeiro?
Absolutely, Andile. Very interesting comments there from the coach. We actually see in the numbers how they go directly towards the goal instead of passing it around as Sundowns would. But then the first stat we have here on the coach is that he's only the second Pirates coach to win 2 knockout cups in his first PSL season at the club, after Julio Leal, who did the same,
the man with the white jacket.
2012, the man with the white jacket.
What else do you have?
And also this season, while he had a good run, Jose actually equaled the Orlando Pirates record for the longest winning streak in the league.
That was the 6th, yeah?
Yeah, 6 games that ended in April. He equaled that, joining Roy Barreto, Ruud Krol, and Joseph Zimbauer, who did the same 3 years ago.
Wow. Do you see a change in Orlando Pirates? Do you see what Ribeiro described? Opta just spoke about it now to say they go direct, they don't like to go outside, and they move the ball fast. Do you see it?
Definitely, Ngaibona Andile. I mean, I said it even to you on Monday. The hard part about being a coach and Fernando Jose, who didn't know the culture, he did a lot of homework. Ngama player like that, and the culture like that, and he's combined the talent, work ethics, the culture, the consistency. Pirates plays a very dimensional game. He came here corner. They can in-game flexibility where you can be able to change the dynamics of how you attack, and that is what makes Pirates special, and that is why teams couldn't deal with it. But remember, the Spanish football, Brazilian football, it's almost similar to how China in terms of the culture. But I believe that Jose, for me, he has done well. When the coach gives you details of or that can influence the results, you must know what's the story.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have as far as the stories are concerned, gentlemen. It's exactly 6:35. It's 10 minutes away from us going forth and taking all the calls. So we now shift the conversation. Those are all the stories. Thank you so much for partaking in that. But we shift the conversation now to the greatest of all time. Let's take a quick break. When we come back from that break, we will then begin the conversation. Central pairing. The 2 central defenders. Who are the greatest of all time? We're going to hear from the 3 of you, plus Opta. And we're going to hear from Thomas Sweswe and David Notwane too. I see all of you on Facebook following at SABC Sport. You're on the at Sports That Amplified broadcast there. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'm trying to see here. Already. Innocent Majabula Kupagwa. Majabula Kupagwa. Uti, central defenders of all time for him, Siyabonga Sangweni and Roy Mahamudza. Okay, I see that. And then Hutin Shilang says, I think Neil Tovey and Old John. All right, Shani's a chance. But okay, let's go to the guys that are here. Ngati exam masenza lezinto. The way the guys are so cool, Opta, I'm going to go to you last. I'm going to start with Pro Pilani, SABC Sport researcher out in Durban. Pro, talk to me. Your best central pairing, the 2 players that you think were untouchable, the best in their position. If we're compiling, as we are now, the best 11 of all time, which 2 players do you have playing central?
I was to Joas Makole for not 10 days, Malisela, under 10 to meet Sundowns. And, but I'll tell you right now, Guti, and Old John Mabizela, as much as the old day didn't play long, those 2 players were by far the most talented center backs ever produced in South Africa.
Old John Mabizela and Sia Sangweni for you?
Yes, sir.
I've got a feeling we're going to hear a lot of that. Mkwanza?
Mina Mabizela no Frankie Skuman. Kodwa. Mabizela no Frankie Skuman. Or Frankie break it down one.
Please, tell me about Skuman.
I think if you look back about you, my attributes, pedigree, the same, and evolutionize the center back, skillful, defending to attack concept. They use both feet very well, Andile. Aerially, they're decent. Yabona again, more defender that started to build up from the back. Old John, no Frankie Skuman. khohlwa uThiyam mamela. I mean
Frankie Skuman over Roy Mahamudza over
Hayi,
like
man,
over
man,
Siyasangweni.
Shama ntombazana. Wenzani Frankie Skuman Roy Mahamudza? Indoda yadelela ndoda. Ha.
I want to go to Nadim, but before I go to Nadim, we went out there and we got some expert opinions as well. This is Thomas Sweswe telling us about his top 3 central backs of all time.
My name is Thomas Sweswe, former Kaizer Chiefs and Zimbabwe defender. I just want to name my top 3 central defenders, which I think they inspired me also, and that made me interested in watching them play also. On the top, I'll go with Lucas Radebe, who we used to watch a lot when I was still a boy, playing for Bafana Bafana and the Kaizer Chiefs in Leeds in England. Because playing for Kaizer Chiefs and Bafana Bafana in Leeds, it's not a kid's play. That's how good he was. I think. Number 2, I'll go with Valery Nahayo, the guy I played with at Kaizer Chiefs. The man from Burundi, you could tell how good he was all the time when he's in the team. We were always different with the way that we play. And I rate him highly because of his composure also. He was very good at man marking. He couldn't give strikers any chance to breathe. On number 3, I'll go with my fellow countryman, Method Mwanjali, who I used to play with at national team. He was at Sundowns. It shows how good he was also when he was being named as the captain for all the clubs that he has been playing for. He was
I didn't think of those 3, I must be honest.
Very comfortable on the ball, and he could use both legs. He was very good. Thank you.
That is former Kosi there in Thomas Sweswe listing his top 3. Lucas, we got to disqualify.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Lucas, we got to disqualify. He didn't play PSL.
Yes.
No, I never played, yeah.
He didn't play PSL. Did he at all? No, he didn't at all.
No, I didn't.
He didn't at all. So Lucas, we got to disqualify. Then it leaves Valery Nahayo and Method Mwanjali
Yeah.
as his 2 picks there. Okay, before I go to Nadim, I was going to go to you next. But should I go to Nadim now?
Method was very good.
No. Okay, David Notwane on. Let's go to David Notwane, former coach of the under-23s, of course, a man that works out at Sundowns. These are his top 3 central backs of all time in the PSL era.
This is David Notwane. Top 3 central defenders in the PSL history of all time. Very, very, very difficult task. Many top players to choose from. But I'll have to go with one McFish. McFish was a very, very complete footballer who could defend very well, very solid in the tackle, very solid in the air, won a lot of aerial duels, also with the ability to join the attack and score goals, and he grew up as a striker and ended up playing as a defender, and he could operate across all positions on the pitch. I'll give him 1. 2, I'll go for Old John Mabizela. Old John was a top footballer, complete footballer, short build-up, long build-up, good shooting, long range, accuracy of passing, short and long, and a very, very intelligent player who read situations very, very, very well. Then for the 3rd one, I'll go with the Chief, Lucas Radebe, very, very solid in the tackle, a no-nonsense defender, very strong aerially as well, a good leader and a winner overall, Lucas Radebe. I think all 3 had a very strong personality, character, and influence on the team during matches. Hence, for me, I would go for the 3 as all-time favorites or top performers consistently.
David, I got to thank you so much for that one, by the way, Coach David Notwane there. We got to disqualify 2 there. Radebe, of course, we've already disqualified. He didn't play PSL.
Yeah.
Mark Fish left after Pirates won the Star.
Yeah.
So he left as well. So he didn't play PSL either. So that leaves just Old John. Nadim, it's down. Okay, let's go to Opta. Opta?
Andile.
You looked at your stats and you did your magic. What 3 did you come up with?
Yes, again, stats from the past are very difficult to find, but then the 3 that we came up with are Bunela Mabizela, Tamsang Masangweni, and we have Patrick Mabedi there as the 3rd.
Wow, Patrick Mabedi, there's a new name.
Yeah.
Up to there. Thank you so much for that one there.
Sia Sangwen, not Tamsang Sangwen.
Sia Sangwen, yes. Sia Sangwen.
Yeah.
Sia Sangwen, sorry.
Vajay says Eric Matoho and Tonik Shabalala on Facebook. Kotso Claudio on the live stream. They're watching the show right now. Says Mabizela and Sangweni. Anybody else here with something different? Smongseni Houghton. Okay, says Neil Tovey and Old John. We've got that one already. Okay. Over to you, Nadim.
Yeah, for me, I always say that the two greatest one I've seen playing in the PSL, if you look at the number of games and also how they contributed, also look at the time they played, not just someone who played in and out or someone who's a late developer. Mabizela started when he was very young at Pirates. I remember at 22 years was already a captain when they won the league 2002 or that time. And then also Fabian Makad at Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, I think played for Makluk, went to part of that Sheikhs Mashaba team that went to the Sydney Olympics. Those are the two best ones I've seen. Siasang, when I know is there, but for me, Fabian McCartney just aged him because he was so consistent and he started when he was like.
So you're saying who, Fabian and?
Fabian McCartney and Mwabizela.
And Mabizela.
Yeah, those are the two one for me in terms of the time they played in the PSL and their impact from an early age. Siasang, when I just knew him when he was like late, actually 20s. So yeah, yes, he was impressive, but I wouldn't put him even ahead of Mato.
Abdul, here?
Yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't put him. Mato, I think, has played more time in the PSL than Siasang Weni.
But is he was he a better player in terms of influence in that position?
Of course, Sia was very good.
But that's what we're asking. Who's the best in that position?
I've already given you.
Okay, we're taking your calls now, going to your WhatsApps as well. Abdul Jabbar James says, let me see. Where is it now? Abdul, I don't see it anymore here. Best central pairing in PSL. No, I can't see. I can't see it anymore. I can't see it anymore. So let's go to some of your voice notes, and then after that, taking your calls on 086 000 2160 and all the stories that we've done, but also your central pairing. Let's go.
Hey, Mapara, good evening, bafowethu. Zulungena cala in Durban na team. Good evening, Propilani. Mkhonza wama on goal. Lipara na Mapara, Andile, bafowethu. The greatest of all time. Central pairing, I'm a defender. I would say Roy Mahamudza and Siyabonga Sangweni. Ha, uyazawe. Ingobo beyenza umsebenzi insimbi ifike clean. And then I would say, yeah, Matoho and Mashamayite. Those are the best for me. Sharp interpret.
Matoho and Mashamayite. That was a good pairing. So I hear you there. Zulu unecala Zulu siyazi.
Yeah, good evening, Andile and the listeners of Metro FM.
Hey.
Big ups for your show.
Hey, thanks, man.
Mr. Mkhonza, I mean, Ntozam Nati, who understand the football, and we learn a lot from him. And even if
so much.
Laro Outlalo says when he explains something about football, I'll be personal, or understand the ball literally so, because he play it. Yeah. Let me rectify. I think the best, we will never have a defender like OJ or PSL, never. It's just the issue, discipline wise, yes, but simply the best.
Yeah, alcohol.
OJ Mabizela. Yeah, for Mamaila, good move. He's the one of the best also. Domingos, for me, I think after injury, yes, of course, Sundowns, they need to be cautious. But for me, Mendieta is not for us. Godfrey from Kibble Park.
I found Abdul Jabbar James's once. He says Matthew Booth and Nassif Morris. That's his two. Matthew Booth.
Who says that?
And Nassif Abdul Jabbar.
From
James.
Cape Town.
I think he is from Cape Town.
He didn't say who's the best from Cape Town. In the PSL, not Cape Town.
Let's take one more before we take the calls.
Andile, Shabuzet, Rolane from Mamelodi here. My best central defender should be is Siyabonga Sangweni. Siyabonga Sangweni. I think he's the one who stand up for me.
Guys, I mean, the PSL era started in 96.
96, yeah.
So you're saying in all of those years, old John Mabizela and Sia Sangweni are the best. Even, I mean, think about the double treble winning Orlando Pirates side.
Yeah.
Sia played in one of them. The other one was not there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Roy was there.
Yeah.
Captain Fantastic Lucky Lihuati was there.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sundowns. Let's look at Pito's Sundowns.
Yeah.
Hey, even Ali Shoots.
But Andile, so when Wayne Arends.
No, Ali Shoots I thought Ali Shoots was a solid defender.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It was just like Lihuati. It was okay.
Wow. Let's take some calls. Let's go first. Where are we going to me? I see they're blinking now. Lisibe is out in Neguruleni. Lisibe, you go for it. We're listening.
Yeah, Levin, how are you, Andy?
From Neguruleni, Pichaka, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit controversial.
Not a little bit. It's your thing. We're used to it. Just shoot.
OJ for me is number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn between Mohamed Osep and Idris Batin and Musa Ngao.
Oh, the one is to play for Santos.
Yeah.
Musa
Ngao.
Ngao from Santos.
Yeah.
Over. Okay.
Shoot, I'm listening.
No, I'm just looking at the names that have been coming out, and I'm saying over all of those names, that's your two.
No, consistency, my brother. You see, now I'm old-fashioned from
consistent.
No,
Yeah.
you're spot on there.
Not
You've got
someone
the
who
room
started at
agreeing.
29 years, yeah.
You've got the room. Who started at 29 years old? No one started at 29 of these
No,
days.
Sia started to see his best at 29 years when he joined Pirates.
Let's go to Doc Dixon. Dixon is out in Guamhlanga. Dixon.
Andile, how are you?
Hey, we're always good, man. The conversation is heating
guy
up.
who's saying he started to see Sia when
His
he was
name is
29.
Nadim.
Yeah, Nadim was not watching Golden Arrows. That Golden Arrows of Manjova Multi. Siabonga Sangwan has always been the best defender.
Yeah.
He has always been the best. Had we had him in the World Cup 2010, because even in the build-up towards the World Cup in the friendly games, he was doing well. I don't know why he was chosen, or why Aaron Mukwen was chosen over him. But anyway, my best three.
Aaron Mukwen was playing for overseas in the Barclays Premier League. Sia never played in the Premier League. Yes.
But that guy cost us the World Cup. He even cost us Mukwen his job.
Your personal, man, Dixon. Go for it. What are you saying?
I'm saying my best three defenders has to be Siabonga Sangweni or John Mabizela. There will never be anyone like him. There's never been anyone like him. And then the other one is Matthew Booth.
Matthew Booth. There's a name that hasn't come up a lot.
Because it's giving you a different dimension.
But let me ask you. Matthew, yes, aerially was good, defensively was solid, but was he good in assisting the team move forward?
Influence.
You know what I liked about him? He was very calm, very, very calm. So that means if you wanted him to assist you with the attack going forward, he was going to be able to do it with ease because of his calm. Calm defenders, they are always good in terms of...
Yeah, but did he do it? Did he assist in building?
Yeah, but the thing is, you might never know what instruction was given when he was playing. But for me, if I wanted to attack, to make him build him from the back, I was going to do it, and he was going to do it with flying colors.
Oh, Tata Coach Dixon, thank you so much.
You know why Sia Sangon didn't play overseas?
Why?
Because people saw his best very late. That's why I'm saying.
So you're not saying you didn't see him at Golden Arrows. You're saying his best was at Pirates.
Of course, he was.
And that was by then.
Yes.
How old was he?
29. When around there. When
all right, let's go to
he
David.
He was not the best defender in the PSL.
David Aguruleni, talk to me.
Yeah, good evening, Ma and crew. Let me allow me to say my list is as follows. On composure, the best of the best, or nobody can be compared to OJ.
Okay.
And when we talk of commitment, leadership, passion, and people, a defender that...
Luckily what?
Luckily what?
I would like to thank the chairman.
No, but David, do you know what you did? You know what you're doing? You gave us everything but football. We're talking about football. Yes, like he's an amazing guy. Yeah. He's one of the best people, but we're speaking just based on football here. Yeah. 90 minutes in the field of play.
Yeah, because the men won everything. There was a time, people say there was a double treble of that Pirate team. They forget that team almost won everything. There was a time they were beaten by Chiefs in the final of the Telecom Cup. The Pirates competed for everything because of Luckily Hot's influence.
All right. No, I hear you. You had a huge influence. That one you can't deny.
No,
Thank you so much. That's a fact. His influence overall was huge in that double treble winning team. Let's go to Sinong. Sinong is out in Rustenburg. Sinong.
Hey, Andile, how's it?
Hey, I'm good, man. Talk to us.
I'm alive. Hey, Tamkwanza, how's it?
Hey, Mumnandi.
Hey, sharp. Yeah. My greatest of all time, it should be Old John Mabizela, and then my greatest center pairing, the Twin Towers. In 22 games, they only conceded 8 goals, and then had 15 clean sheets in that season. They were Molomanda Matoho, and then
on Mashamaite. Yeah. I remember that. That's the season Mashamaite won
football of the
season. Yeah.
But the problem is they did it for one season.
That's
true.
true.
Look at Mapolego and Dan Desmond, they did it for 3 consecutive seasons. So,
Sinong, that's a good argument put there by Propylander to say you are giving me one season. You're saying they were the best based on one season. We're speaking about an old John and a Sia who did it for seasons, a Jos Mahulejo who did it for seasons, a Adi Shoot who led Sundowns for seasons. Do you think they qualify?
No, they do qualify in terms of center pairing, because the question said who was the greatest center pairing. But in terms of top 3 of all time, Old John Mabizela, Mulomanda Matoho, and then Patrick Mabedi for me.
Oh, so you'd go Matoho over Sangwin?
Exactly. My Matoho was the best for me compared to Sangwin.
Are you a Chiefs supporter?
Andile, that's one we'll answer it next time.
So no, out in Rustenburg, thank you. Let's go to Cape Town now. I think it's Ambrogino.
Yes, Asia, how are you, man?
Yeah, man. Right, man, Jamal, man. Talk to me. The greatest of all time.
Yeah, all is good. Yeah, listen, I wanna agree with someone who said there in the studio, all John and Frank Skuman.
I think that's some Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Yes, I think those two and Kwanzaa would know better. I also want to throw in something here, man. I think, to me, he never really reaches true potential. He was never utilized properly in that role. Derek Spencer was a good player.
Derek at Chiefs and at Sundowns.
Yes.
Derek Spencer, his composure when you play in Central, he was. I wanted to put him with Frank Skuman, but I thought to myself, Frank Skuman would take the notch because both of them played football the same way. But listen, Derek was a good player, man. I don't want us to forget him in that role. He was an excellent player, and he did campaign. He did the same thing at Chiefs, did the same thing at Vet. He was a good player, Derek Spencer. I will forever be grateful for his contribution to the team, man.
Okay, Virginia, appreciate it all the way out in Cape Town. Let's go to Palm Ridge. Benzo.
Good evening, Andile.
Hey, easy, man.
Everyone is good there. Yes, just to take it back, right, I just want to agree for the first time in my life with Pro Pilani about the guy from Stellenbosch, that is not going to be a good acquisition for Sundowns. I mean, like, if they have to sign him, it means they have to chase away one foreign guy, which I'm not sure.
But, I mean, that's already happening. Hashim Domingo.
Hashim Domingo is local.
It's local.
I mean, you mean one foreign guy? Okay, sorry, I thought you meant one player, one foreign guy.
Yes, so like that will be a
no, but
tricky.
There's a way to go past that.
No. I mean, you know very well that it's Sundowns.
There's a way to work around that.
I don't think so. Sorry, I mean, I thought you meant one player. I didn't listen to your full statement there. One foreign player is what you're meaning. I'm pretty sure Sundowns. Sundowns have that down to a T by now with the amount of foreign players that they've dealt with over the years.
There's a time where they used to start with 7 foreign players.
What time was this?
They always used to
7 foreign players.
Yes, there's a way out. Even Shoot, when Shoot was checked that lineup when they won the league, Shoot was actually registered as a foreigner because of how
No.
They was neutralized.
Opta, can you do a stats check on this one?
You're supposed to know. You're supposed to know.
You're telling the truth. Sundowns is one stage had about 7 foreign-born players. Some were neutralized South Africans, like the likes of Anthony Lafort, the Onyangos, the Moini. So they play around those.
Then on the wing as well.
But you're supposed to know this thing. You always at Sundowns. What happened? You're supposed. Trot Moloto didn't tell you how they do it.
No, Benzo, you got your answer there. I hope it was cool. Let's go to Lunga. Is it Lunga? Who are we going to? David in Pretoria. Another David. Oh, it's a different David. David in Pretoria.
Hey, how's it?
Yeah, very well, man. Talk to us, David.
Good. Guys, now I'm worried. Why Snoopy's not topping your list, guys? I mean, that guy was marveled to what he cleaned everything that was coming to him.
Mahuleo.
Snoopy Mahuleo, he was part of that
Sundowns
winning team. I think they took it 3 times in a row as well.
So do you think in terms of talent was better than Mabizela?
No, I would put him with Mabizela, but
no. So he can't top the list because you can't top the list. You say why he's not topping the list? That's the reason.
No, guys, Snoopy was something else. At least he must be there number 4, number 5.
We say top 2, not top 5. If we're saying top 10, Mkonza maybe was going to be there. We're saying top 2.
My point is Mabizela drank that talent. And I am still.
Oh, David, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Lunga, you got to make it quick. Unfortunately, I've got two gentlemen behind me. They're saying, give him exactly 30 seconds. Go for it. Is Indian. You can't say that word. It's very offensive. But no, it's fine. We all learn together. We all learn together.
Why I'm sorry about that.
Your name.
Mina bengicabanga ukuthi nithe pairing namhlanje silungisa ingishanje ngomazola. Bengicabanga ukuthi nithe pairing. I-pairing bengizohamba no Tefumata Maite no Matho. So that's what in my mind. So ngiyabonga. Sorry about that. I apologize.
No, Lunga. We all learn, my brother. That's why we're here. We all learn. Sure. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's some of the hour, 7 o'clock, a minute over. We got to get out of here. Pro, thank you so much, my brother. I know I'm going to be with you tomorrow. Come kick off in the playoffs out on SABC Sport. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Andile. Thanks to the King of On Gold. Thanks to our favorite number, Nadim. And thanks to all the listeners of this number one sports show.
We appreciate it. Nadim?
Thank you, Andile.
Next week, I think we take it to left wing, yeah? Are we on the wings?
No, central midfield.
No, that's going to be last. Because Lapos, come on, talk about shoes.
Wing,
let's go on the wings. Yeah, let's go on the wings. We'll catch you next week. We've got to get out of here. The guys are staying by.
Now I'm holding it down, but it's all good. Aren't you going to ask me about my favorite defender of all time? Plus, I feel like some cheesecake this weekend. So, yeah.
Go for it. Who's your best central pairing?
I've already dropped. Okay,
was that it? Was that
that's it. I've already dropped it. That's it. Look, coming up on the show today is nothing but good music. A lot of people got paid on the first, so we're going to be playing that music that you can afford.
The music that you spend your money on.
That's right.
There it is. And you're running solo?
I am running solo today, but you know the party is right here all the way till 10 p.m.
Always. I know I get tuned in as I do my rounds. Thanks so much to Naked DJ that takes over. Lulo's not in, but hey, the music is still there. From all of us here on a Friday, my entire team, it's too big to call out. And of course, the lights, camera, action crew that makes sure we're live on Facebook as well as on Twitter. Appreciate it. Pella. That's all me.